This mahogany segmented vase is available at Prudencia Art Gallery. This short video will show you how this detailed vase of 156 pieces is made. The first step in making a vase is deciding how the design should go. So here is a mock-up of the side view of the vase to indicate how thick and what dimensions it's going to be. Once we have the design, then we go to a computer and create a spreadsheet of a detailed listing of the thickness, the segments, length for each individual 12 segments in the ring, and then how thick the wall of the vessel is going to be as it's finished. Here shows the tools for the lathe, commonly called chisels, and the lathe itself that is going to be used to turn this vessel. After we design it and determine the exact length of each piece, we go to the table saw, and each piece has to be cut at exactly 15 degrees so that 12 pieces will fit into a 360-degree circle. So each piece is cut at 15 degrees on the end. And here shows a process of cutting the first 12 pieces of a ring. And altogether, this vessel has 156 pieces to make up the 13 rings. While it's time-consuming to cut the 156 pieces, we also must sand each individual piece so they fit together exactly, and then glue them together and put a hose clamp around them so that they can dry overnight. We can finally start our reveal of our vessel. Here we go to the lathe and put our first base circle of rings on, and then we build in a base that to allow for expansion contraction of the wood so the vessel will not break. Once we have the base plate or first ring ready, we then can start to go to the press off of the lathe and add additional rings and glue them and let them again set overnight to dry. And then finally, the next day, we're ready to mount more of the rings onto the lathe for turning. On the lathe, here we have the first 5 rings being centered and mounted on the lathe with a base plate to hold it in position. And at the same time, we have additional ones being glued up off of the lathe, ready for addition into the bowl later. Once the glued up vase is ready and on the lathe, our first step on the lathe is to actually turn it and cut the inside of this 12 straight segments into a continuous circle on each ring. So this is a time-consuming and very accurate process, as you do not want to cut through the wall of the vase. So we continue to cut and check for wall thickness as we continue, because this vase is going to have about 3/8 of an inch wall thickness. Once we have both the top half and the bottom half of the vessel completely turned on the inside, the next step is to glue the two halves together to get them accurately aligned, and then glue them together so we have one complete vase to turn and finish on the outside. You can see the vase starting to take shape as the bottom is turned, and now the neck is turned and starts to take shape. And then I stop and check to make sure that none of it's getting too thin. You can tell by the difference in the sound as I'm tapping on the vessel to see how thick the wall thickness is. After sanding both inside and outside and applying a finish, we now have this beautiful mahogany vase that's available from Prudency Art Gallery for your home. Also, here at the end of the clip, I have added in some other items such as this tall, 26-inch tall vase, a urn, and finally a small vase. Thanks for watching.